Yeah. Today we are going to study about a topic called constructors and destructor. Now, first point, connecting with constructors. Remember, we have two types of constructors to study with. Two types. One is called instance member constructor. That is one type. Instance member constructor. And second, static constructor. Two are there. Instance member constructor and second one is called static constructor. Two are there. Now, instance member constructor means dependent on object. Static constructor means independent of object. First, we are going to study today only about instance member constructor. Right? We'll complete this total topic. We'll complete today. And now, another important thing is under instance member constructor, we are going to learn its implementation in three ways. In three ways. One is called parameterless constructor, parameterized constructor, copy constructor, which means instance member constructor can be implemented in three ways. Parameterless, parameterized, copy constructor. Three. Now, again, if you go a little further on this topic, remember, even in interviews under which they ask types of constructors, your answer should be only two only. Instance member constructor, static constructor. Static constructor, next topic we will study. Right? Okay, before I go further, remember one more thing. What is a constructor? What is a constructor? The first thing to identify is constructors are special methods. Constructors are what? Special methods of a class. Special methods of a class used to construct the data. Special methods of a class for what? Used to construct the data. And here construction of data is something not new. We are talking about providing data for fields of a class. Providing data for fields of a class. How do you provide? Either provide constant values or you provide runtime values. Anyways, your point is to send that information at the runtime. Okay, or providing the value with constant data. Anyways, you can send your information. Okay, now, for example, here I say private integer a, private id, private string emp name, private double emp salary. Okay, this is my three fields. All are private and I give a class name as employee. Now I want to provide data for these three fields. And here I create instance. Employee new employee constructor. Yes. Now, whenever instance is created, immediately control will go to that constructor. Whenever instance is created, control will go to where? Constructor. So I add here. Here I add. What I add is constructor. And remember one thing, if you don't create any constructor in a class, compiler will create parameterless constructor. Class is never empty after compilation. Note this point, please. Class is never empty after compilation. Source code doesn't hold anything. Source code. Source code does not contain anything. If you create an empty class. But what am I saying? What am I saying? After compilation, compiler is going to add a constructor. Which constructor? Parameterless constructor. Who created? Compiler. So it is called implicit parameterless instance member constructor. If compiler creates. If you create, that is explicit parameterless instance member constructor. Which means what should I write now? As I said, special method in a class. What is the speciality? First you write access modifier, then class name is employee, method name is also employee. But over, that's it. This is your constructor. So what is the speciality? What is the speciality of constructor? Class name and constructor name will be same. Plus constructors will not have return type. Will not have return type. Will not have return type in the sense you as a programmer explicitly you cannot write. That is what the meaning is. For a constructor as a programmer explicitly you cannot write return type. That is what the meaning is. But you don't write void, it's valid. But remember one thing, by default return type of constructor is void only. You cannot write, that is different story, but default is void only. So what is the specialty now? Class name, constructor name same. Constructor will not have return type, will not have return type, will not have return type. Constructor, because it is default void, you cannot return value. And another specialty is whenever instance is created here, whenever instance is created, automatically this block is executed. Chalo, start. We'll trace the code. F11 starts from me. Yes, start from me. F11 again. Yes. Now see, the moment this instance is created, control will go to constructor. Yes. That makes another difference. If it is a method, you should call by keeping dot operator. D dot show. Constructor automatically gets called. Constructor implicitly gets executed whenever instance is created. Every point is interview query here. Special methods of a class used to construct the data. Construction of data is nothing but providing values for different members of the class at runtime when instance is created. And now speciality is these points. Class name, constructor name same. Class name, constructor name should be same. Second rule, constructor's default return type is void, hence you cannot return value. Plus constructors implicitly gets executed whenever instance is created. Means automatically it gets executed. No, this is for your reference. I'm saying this public employee open flower bracket, close flower bracket, everything I myself have added. You remember that? Everything. This is all I added. Do one thing. Delete this code. Instead, you write now CTOR. This is a code snippet for creating constructor. Press tab key, your constructor is ready. Only parameter list. Please remember that. Only parameter list. Provide data now. EMP ID equal to 1001. EMP name equal to Ahmed. EMP salary equal to 19,022.22. Yes. It means whenever this instance is created, named E1, that E1 is going to have 3 members and 3 members will contain this data. When you create, no, what is this now? What is this? Explicit parameterless constructor. The two, which constructor? Instance member constructor. Explicit parameterless instance member constructor. Yes. Now, another point. So when you create, compiler created constructor will be overwritten. Overwritten. Okay. Now you create one more. Employee E2, new employee 1002, Srinivas, salary, semicolon. This is E2 instance with 3 parameters. Write the constructor now. Public employee int EID string en double es. Now assign those values. ID equal to EID. En. EMP salary equal to year. Right. Now when E1 creates, it will go to parameter list. When E2 creates, it will go to parameterized. Same instance member construct. And rule is one instance can execute constructor only for once, each instance. Each constructor will execute, sorry, each instance will execute constructor only, I used a word, only for once. Only for once. If you want parameterless constructor to execute for one more time, no alternate. You have to create one more instance. You have to create one more instance. If you want to execute parameterized for one more time, you have to create one more instance. With one instance, you can't execute constructor for more than one. With one instance, you cannot execute constructor for more than one. Then employee E3 equal to new employee. Now what I want, if I put semicolon here, it means E3 will also execute parameterless only. E1 will execute parameterless once, E3 will execute parameterless once. For E3, if I give parameters, then it will execute parameterized for one more time. But now what is my interest is, and one more thing. This constructor name and this constructor name, same. Here 0 parameters, here 3 parameters. Count different, but names are same. Yes. This is constructor overloading. Yesterday we studied method overloading. Now what I want is, okay, I'll write display. Public void display. Console.writeLine employee ID equals to plus EMP ID. Console.writeLine EMP name equals to plus EMP name. Console.writeLine EMP salary equal to plus EMP salary. Yes. ID equal to ID, name equal to name, salary equal to salary. Now what I am looking for is E3. In E3, either I want to copy data of E1 or I want to copy data of E2. E3 content I want to copy to E1 or E2. E1 data I copy to E3 or E2 data I want to copy to. So better I look for E1 then. E1. You send us argument right here. Public employee employee. That's over. EMP ID is equal to E dot ID. EMP name E dot EMP name. Employee salary equal to E dot EMP salary. Now call E1 dot display sorry, E2 dot display E3 dot display. Control it. Now E1 E3 should be same. E1 output E3 output. The first and last should be same. Second middle should be different. Yes. First and last my details. Second is other object details. So this constructor which you created, it is now called copy constructor. How many constructors now we have? Three. Overloaded because one is without parameters, one is with three parameters, that to all are value type, and one is reference type. You're sending object as parameter. So what is copy constructor? Simple analyzation. E1, E2, E3. All are covered in one example. So what is copy constructor? How do you describe now? How do you define? Simple definition. Creating new instance, creating new instance and copying data of existing instance. Right. Create, creating new object and copying data of existing object. That is called copy constructor. Okay. This complete comes under one scenario. No logic, nothing. Simple, simple. By looking after this itself, you can understand. Okay. Now question is asked. I'll remove. We'll try for another one. Remove everything. All are covered here. Now I'll go for second example. I mean to say some technical queries we'll discuss on this topic. But don't forget, please, one constructor can call, sorry, one instance can execute constructor only for one. So now what I'm saying now what I'm saying, private integer a comma b. Okay, two values. Now what I will do, I will or else okay, I'll just make previous example only. Okay, so do one thing, remove copy constructor. One parameter list, one parameter list we have. So I'm not interested for E3 now. E3 not required. Okay, just go on top. Interview query. The query is, can a constructor, three are there, three implementation. Instance member constructor is implemented in three ways. Now I'm saying that that explicit parameterless instance member constructor, what I'm trying to do, I'll make it private. I'll make it private. So question is asked, can a constructor be created with private access modifier? 100% yes, no doubt, because it is a special method. Special method doing special task, but doesn't mean that you cannot have private access modifier for 100% possible. But if you go to main, you'll get error. Yes, error, inaccessible. But you should not change your point because I'm getting error. Don't change the point. If it point is remove this, yeah, fine. Compile. Even if I don't have even at all, remove this even completely. Yes, only E2 I have. So only parameterized will work now. So Srinivas details should come for us now, not my details. Yes, my details you won't get because it is not executed. Why it is not executed? Because it has not been executed with that block. Reason private, because I was not in a position to create instance to execute this parameterless construct. That's simple. But I want my details also. I want my details also. Then you can say here, this parameterized constructor which is created as public, extend extend this keyword. This is second usage of this keyword. Yes. Now in this parameterless constructor, you call display over control F5. My details also we got, Srinivas details also. Now who executed this private constructor? This keyword. Which instance which you created? Parameterized one. And rule is at one constructor you can specify the execution of other constructor by using this keyword, and only once you can write, only once. Okay, that is how it makes a point. Another interview query. Now that interview query is, for example, okay, this I make public. Remove this parameter. We are not looking for this. Completely remove. Now remove parameters. I mean to say arguments from. Yes. Make E1. Yes. Go on top. Save. Yes. Two times, right? Because we are calling once. Don't call. Okay. Now constructor itself will call display also. Okay. Now interesting point is now since your constructor itself is calling other methods of a class, I don't feel in this example importance of this E1. Remove. First execute. Same output. Yes. Only difference in reading. This is an unnamed instance. That is the reason this is called anonymous instance or anonymous object. Code has been executed. That was something different. But we could manage a call for display to call from that method. We managed, no? We managed to execute display method from the constructor. If you write employee E1 equal to new employee, then it is named instance, named object. If you write only new employee without writing object, then it is anonymous object, an anonymous instance. Now, another point on the same topic. Now, what I'll do, this display method you're calling from constructor, right? If I don't call here, constructor will work, no doubt. But display, you haven't called. So, no. That's it, no output. Because display, can I call here? Here, to call you require a name. E1 dot display. So either now situation you see. Either you create name here for the object as employee E equals to new employee, so that next line I can say E dot display. Or you can call display in constructor so that you don't need to put object. till you decide that you don't want to call in constructor and even you're not interested to put an object, till there is an execution. You can extend constructor with display. Yes, control F5. Same, you'll get output now. Yes, first constructor has worked, then after display has worked. You have show also. How do you call show? Public void show. Show also I have. From show. No, don't say that display should be added with dot and then show. That makes no point. No, it's error. Error. It's giving already error. Because to a constructor, you can call only one method of the class with a constructor support. Only one. Already I called display. You call, and from display you call show. Means say control F5. First constructor will work, then display will work, and after display will call show. Yes, you got the output. Now, last topic under constructor, that is called destructor. How do you write destructor? Same rule. Class name, destructor name should be same. Okay. Employee. Class name and destructor name should be same. And speciality of destructor is destructor you should not write access modifier. Nothing. No public, no private, nothing. Then how to identify the destructor? Before class, before destructor name, you should put tilde symbol. But it is a destructor. Now two specialities of destructor. One, just now I said destructor will not have any access modifier. Plus destructor will not, cannot be even. Okay. So what are the two specialities? Destructor will not have access modifier. And what is second specialty? Destructor cannot be overloaded. Which means destructor only one in class. We cannot write multiple destructors. Constructors you can write without parameter, with parameter, with object, with two parameters, with three parameters. Okay. And another important point for destructor, remember, this is working process I'm saying. Destructor only confirms about the deallocation of object. Now, if I run my code, only from destructor message will come. Please, I repeat, don't say that destructors will deallocate memory. No, I say no. Okay, destructor is not meant for deallocation of memory. Rather, I said destructors. Okay, so what is the speciality? What is the other one I said no? So then what? Then if destructor is not going to deallocate memory, then who is going to deallocate memory? So this is the point. Whenever destructor gets executed, background plus internal, a method is called background. One method is called by a name called finalize. Who will call? CLR will call. What it will call? Finalize method. And finalize method will deallocate the memory. Number of instances created, those many number of times destructor will be executed. If 3 instances, 3 times it would have been executed. Now what Microsoft says that for a programmer, don't depend on destructor to deallocate memory, because at what point of time, so don't depend on what? Then destructor. Why? Because we cannot predict, we cannot guess at what point of time destructor will be executed. You cannot predict. You cannot say after this object it will go for execution. You cannot commit. You cannot guess that exactly same thing will happen. What I said. Then what Microsoft says, instead of using destructor, it is very much perfect to use two methods. So which methods will call? One is called close, the other is called dispose. Replacement to what it is? Replacement to what? Destructor. That's it. That is about constructors and the destructor. And another important thing of this point is, especially, now this is how constructors and destructors will work. Now we'll go for next topic. Now remove all this. Another topic. Now make all this public.
So this
No.
destructor we don't use much or what?
No, we don't use at all. Only for comparison point of view, I said that's it. Constructors are there, comparing
Okay.
destructors is there, but we never use in real time. I said no. We rather use two methods.
Okay, sir.
Two methods. One is
Okay.
called what do you call close, and the other is
Close.
called dispose.
Yes.
Close and dispose
Fine, sir.
are best to use in programming. Now remove public. Sorry, remove this private and make it as public. Now another way to initialize value. Employee E equals new employee. Continuation. Employee ID equals to 1001. Employee name equal to Anand. Employee salary is equal to 10,000. This is called object initializer. Console.write. Employee ID concatenate E dot employee name concatenate E dot employee salary. Run the code. That's it. Three values. This is called what? Object initializer. This is another concept where we can go with the
And sir, one doubt.
yeah.
So for example, if you have 10 employees details, so if you want to display top 5 employees and top 3 employees, so is it possible to display like that, sir?
No, not here. That is all database concept.
Okay.
Database me, you have those facilities.
Okay.
That too, we got different techniques in database to manage those things. Different techniques.
Okay.
If it is SQL